Howdy, folks. Big Anklevich here. It's time for another episode of Final Boss Mode. How dialed in am I this week? Let's check it out here on Big Anklevich on Health. Okay, it is Sunday, and it wasn't really a good start for the first day of the week. I was a little bit naughty, I have to admit. Not too terribly, but I was not making any progress today from what I did. First of all, I got up this morning and I weighed myself and I discovered that yes, I'm at 211.4, which is much higher than I finished out last week at, which was kind of a bummer. And then I went out and yesterday I smoked a whole bunch of meat. We smoked chicken, we smoked pork butt roast, and we smoked some baby back ribs. No, they were St. Louis style ribs. And that was what was cheap at the store this week. And I thought, you know what, I've got the smoker. I haven't used it in like months. So why not give it a shot? So I smoked those things up. So for breakfast this morning, I had myself, we got chicken hind quarters. So it's the drumstick plus the thigh all stuck together. I had one of those for breakfast. And then for the rest of my breakfast, I took what was left of the ribs, because we did eat a bunch of them last night. The kids ate a lot of them. That was their dinner. And I did have a little bit of it, but this was the second half of it. I was eating a little before I remembered that I forgot to take a picture. So I took this picture, but yeah, this was some good stuff. But I wasn't totally good. What did I have? I think I had a tiny bit of cheese, not really a lot. But yeah, we were just messing around making stuff. I made this a carnivore ranch dressing, and then I cooked up some fat trimmings, and I dipped those in the fat trimmings. I did try a little bit of, I saw this Jenny Middich video where she made like these pepperoni chips. She took pepperonis and put them in a muffin tin, and with a tiny bit of like cheese, and I totally ruined those because I started them up in the oven and then I walked out of the room and my daughter wanted me to do something and I was doing that, and the next thing you know, the whole house is full of smoke and these things had burned to a crisp. There were a couple that weren't totally terrible and I tried those, but for the most part I just threw all those chips away. That didn't work out very well for me. What other bad things? Did I eat any other bad things today? I can't remember. I don't think that I really was that bad. I did have some sausages that I dipped into that ranch dressing. And that was unnecessary, but I didn't do too bad, but I didn't do good. Tomorrow's going to be the day that I'm starting off and really, getting to it. I did do a lot of walking today. I did my normal walk. And then after getting home, my wife was like, oh, you went for your walk. I wanted to go for a walk. I was going to ask you to go for a walk with me, but I guess I'll go with our son. And I was just like, I'll go with you too. That's fine. And so I went for another walk. I wound up getting 18,000 steps today, which that's plenty of steps for a day. So that was good. Probably a good thing. And yeah, we shall see if that makes any difference. I will weigh myself tomorrow morning and see if I'm up further or if I'm coming down. But yeah, got a lot of smoked meat to eat this week, as well as a little bit of ground beef. And hopefully that will get us going. I'll do some fasting and we'll see if we can get ourselves back in order. That's what I need to do, is get back to it and really do the final boss mode thing. Consistency. Let's see if I can have consistency this week. Had it the first 2 weeks, but then I've kind of fallen off that. So got to get back to consistency. That's right. Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, it's Monday, and this morning when I got up, I weighed myself and I was 212.2. which is a little bit up. That's like 0.8 pounds up from yesterday, but it's actually not as bad as it could have been, I think. Probably not as bad as it should have been, so maybe I am doing okay. I had for my first meal was just I don't know, I think this was more than a pound of the smoked pork that I did. I didn't weigh the thing, it's full. The container was full, and I just ate that entire thing, and I was stuffed when I was done. And so later, when I normally would have eaten my second meal, I didn't want a second meal, and so I figured I must have eaten enough. So I just ate that, and that's all I had today was just that one container of pork. I did manage to get in 12,000 steps walking today, so that's a pretty good total. And yeah, I've been feeling kind of miserable because of all the dairy that I ate over the last few days. So I am feeling crappy, and I'm trying to get that to go past me and leave me alone. So hopefully today will have helped on that. We'll keep at it tomorrow and this whole week long. It's going to be a good week. I'm not going to blow it at all. So, all right, folks, it's consistency time. That's right. Okay, let's see what happens tomorrow. Okay, it is Tuesday, and that is the day that I always screw up, right? So I got up this morning and I checked my weight, and it was at 208.6, which is pretty good. That brings me down like almost 4 pounds from yesterday. So that's a good start for the day. That gets me excited when I see something like that happening. That's progress in the right direction. So I had my first meal, which was a pound of ground beef. I have a bunch of smoked meat, but I have the ground beef that I got to eat first because it's going to go bad if I don't cook it and eat it soon. So I had a pound of ground beef for my first meal. And then for my second meal, I had a whole bunch of cheese. No, I'm kidding. I didn't have a whole bunch of cheese. I had another pound of ground beef for my second meal. Then I had a whole bunch of cheese. No, again, I'm kidding. But to tell you the truth, I felt like it. I was frustrated and irritated with some stuff that went on today. And I was itching for something like that. Some cheese, something, one of those comfort kind of things. That's what I wanted. And my trick for that kind of stuff has always been just, it's what I've been doing for this whole year is just go for a walk. When I'm out of the house and I'm not around the fridge, then I can't be eating stuff out of the fridge. And so I did. I went for a walk. I'd already done 10,000 steps while I was at work, so I didn't need to walk at all, but I wanted to get away from any temptation. I knew that if I just stuck around, sooner or later I would give in. So I went for a walk, and not only that, but I took my walk even farther than usual. I walked extra long. I got to where I usually turn around, and I just kept going for another while, and then I finally turned around later and came back. And when I got home, I looked at my thing and it said I had 27,000 steps, and I was telling my wife, and I was like, oh man, I should have gone out, and I should go out and just walk for another half hour so I can get all the way to 30. That would be fun. And she's like, well, I need steps, so I'll go with you if you want to. And I was like, well, I don't need to do that. And then I thought, wait, I could go for a walk with my wife, which we almost never do, and I could get 30. So I did. And I got 30,000 steps. 30,705 is what I got. Although that may change. That'll probably change before I get to bed. I may even make it over to 31,000. But that's pretty good. That's like 14 miles that I walked today. And that was my trick to avoid giving in and eating something I shouldn't. And so now I am fasting. I've been fasting since about 10:30 or so this morning. And I'm going to keep going. I'll fast all through tomorrow. And then on Thursday, I'll eat some stuff. And I'll tell you all about the fasting and it's coming up right now. I'll tell you about it right now. Okay, it is Wednesday. And this morning when I got up, I weighed myself and I was 207.2, which is a good, I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping to be like 4 pounds down like it was yesterday, but still it was 1.5 pounds down. Even though I wasn't fasting. Now I am fasting. Today I fasted all day long. And I did the same thing that I did yesterday to avoid temptation. I didn't let myself sit around in the area where there was food to tempt me. I walked a lot again. I walked even more than I did yesterday. I did 10,000 steps again while I was at work. And then I did another 23,000 actually. I did 33,000 altogether. And that's where I finished it off. So I've done 30,000 2 days in a row. I think that's the first time I've ever done that. I've only made it over 30,000 a few times at all. But yeah, pretty exciting, pretty cool. And I'm excited to see what my weight is tomorrow when I finish up my fast. So let's go check it out. Okay, it is Thursday, and today was an interesting day. First of all, when I got up, I weighed myself, and I was at 204.4, which I think that's almost 3 pounds down from yesterday, which not a huge surprise because I was fasting, and fasting always does that. I finished up my fast at 40 hours, and I had myself some food. I did have some fat trimmings. I cooked up a bunch of those over the weekend, and I have them in a bag. And so I had some of those first, just a little bit, not too much, but not too little. Just kind of get myself started, I guess. I don't know. And then when it was a little bit later, like around 5 a.m. is when I had my first meal, and that was this ground beef. I was gonna eat both pounds of the ground beef. I was gonna try and do the 1 meal a day thing, basically, and eat both pounds of ground beef, but I couldn't do it. I only ate 1 pound of ground. Here, let me fix this photo. There. I only ate 1 pound of ground beef. The other one I just set aside for tomorrow. And I did that kind of for a reason too. I knew that later on, me and my wife were going to be going out. My wife has to work on Valentine's Day. And so we celebrated Valentine's Day today because she didn't have to work today. So when I got home, we went out to dinner. And since I'm me, that gives my wife very few choices to pick for a place to eat out. So she chose the barbecue joint down near us. So I got this food that you see here. I got myself a 1/4 pound of brisket, a 1/4 pound of smoked turkey, and a 1/4 pound, or no, not 1/4 pound, anything. This was a half of a chicken, half of a smoked chicken. So that's what I had for my food. So I had that with the beef and the fat trimmings, and it was pretty good, and I was feeling good about myself. We got home, and weirdly, after being home for a little bit, I found myself getting into stuff in the fridge again. My wife's made me this El Reuterie, I don't know how you're supposed to say this stuff, but it's the yogurt. Carrie Mann Homestead How did a video talking about it.
I learned about this El Reuterie yogurt. I'm probably saying it wrong.
A while back, just about the importance of getting the bacteria cultures in there to make sure your digestion is working right. And a friend of my wife mentioned that she was doing that too. She had some. She gave her some of the cultures to make some yogurt, because my wife's been making yogurt for years now. And she made some of this special yogurt for me. So I had some of that, and then next thing you know, I'm like, geez, I'm not supposed to be eating right now. I'm not supposed to be eating right now. I'm supposed to be done. And I realized that maybe I needed to get out. I mean, I already had 10,000 steps from when I was at work, but I thought I need to get out and keep doing this walking thing. I need to not be around. I need to be distracted. I need to be busy. I can't just be sitting around where I'll be like, I'll go stare in the fridge because I'm bored, because that's what you do when you're bored and you're a fat person like I have always been until very recently. So I said, well, I got 30,000 steps 2 days ago. I got 30,000 steps yesterday. I'm over 10,000. Maybe I can get 30,000 again. And I got out and I hit the trails and I walked for a long time. When I got back, my wife's like, oh my gosh, I was getting worried. I was wondering if I was going to have to go looking for you. You were gone for so long. And I was kind of sad because I'm pretty sure that I was looking at my app and I'm like, I don't think that it's not going to make it. I won't make it to 30,000 for a third straight day. And it didn't. When it finally caught up and counted all the steps that I'd done, it was only 28,000. I feel like a complete failure. I can't believe that's all I could do. No, I was just kidding. All it was really for was to keep myself busy, keep myself from doing stupid stuff, and that worked. I did that, and I stopped eating that yogurt, and I wasn't eating when I shouldn't be anymore. So hopefully it won't be too bad. I know I'm going to gain weight tomorrow because I just finished a fast, and that's just kind of always happens. I tried to head that off a little bit by drinking a lot of water while I was fasting so that I wouldn't be dehydrated from fasting, because usually when I fast, I don't feel like drinking water, but I kind of force myself to a little bit. And I think I'll do that again on Saturday when I fast next time. But we'll see. We'll see what it's like. Hopefully it won't be too bad, but doesn't matter. I'm not going to blow a fuse and do something stupid. So let's go see. What did I get? Okay, it is Friday, and as I suspected yesterday, my weight went up again today. It's up at 208.6, which is, I think that's higher than it was before I started the fast, so that's kind of upsetting, kind of a bummer. But that's kind of the way things go with fasting. I tried to avoid that with drinking lots of water, but didn't really make a difference. I did eat some stuff that I probably shouldn't have, and I ate late, which I shouldn't have. So didn't work out. But the interesting thing is I'm already fasting again. But before we get to that, let's see what I ate today. The first thing that I ate this morning was some of the smoked chicken hind quarters that I made over the weekend. These two here I had for my first meal, and that was pretty yummy. I enjoy eating that stuff. I love smoked meat, so I like making it and I like eating it. And I had that, and then a little while later for my second meal, I had the last of the ground beef that I had still hanging around from last week. So I finished that off. Now I can go all in on the smoked meat that I also, I smoked that last Saturday. It's been almost a week. But yeah, when I finished the ground beef, that was it for my food for the day. I was done. I started my fast, and I'm thinking about doing a full 72-hour fast this weekend, maybe doing Saturday and Sunday instead of just Saturday. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. But I am thinking about doing that. Of course, that won't really matter because I won't finish up my fast while I'm in this video then. It'll be part of next video. So who cares, right? But yeah, I did do a lot of walking today. I did the same kind of thing that I've been doing all week, where I just decided, okay, well, to keep myself from eating stuff I shouldn't, I'm going to go walking. I can't eat anything if I'm not around the fridge. And so I went out and I did a lot of walking while I was at work too. I had almost 10,000. I think I was just shy of 10,000. And then I did a good long walk. I thought I would do better than I did. I only got to 25,000 steps, which is less than yesterday and a lot less than the 2 days before. That's surprising to me. I thought I'd walked more, but whatever. 25,000 is great, and that's plenty. And it did its trick. I didn't eat anything that I shouldn't have. So, going well. Tomorrow I'll fast, and then we'll finish up the week. So let's check it out. Okay, so it is Saturday, the last day of the week, and this morning I got up and I weighed myself. It was 209.2, which is slightly up, like a half pound up from yesterday. So didn't make any progress on that, but I am fasting now, so hopefully there will be some progress now. We shall see. Not going to be as good as I wanted it to be, I suspect, but we'll find out. After weighing myself, I went on my walk for the morning. I was up pretty early, not as early as usual, not my daily wake-up time, but pretty early still. And I tried to stay in bed for a while, and finally I was just like, okay, this is not, I just need to get up and get going. So I got up and I went out for a walk, and I did my walk in the dark. It was fine. I was walking for a while, and then the trouble started. It started to sprinkle, and I went, oh crap, does this mean that I'm going to get soaked like the last time when I went out for a walk and I was an hour away from home and it started to rain? Well, the good thing is it didn't rain nearly as much as it did that time, but this time it still rained the rest of the way home. So I was pretty wet. The sun came up at least before I got home. And so I was able to walk in the woods and I got a little bit more cover overhead from the trees. So I didn't get maybe as wet as I could have, but I was pretty wet. And I was relatively cold because of it. Because, I mean, it wasn't cold. We're getting weather out here that most people in the country would kill for right now because it's nice. It was, I think, 60 degrees when I went out for my walk at 5 in the morning. And that's probably better than the high that a lot of people are getting around the country in some places. But, it was nice, but still, when you're all wet, 60 degrees doesn't feel like 60 degrees. So it was a little cold, but I was fine. It was a little bit of a struggle to fast today. I wanted to eat. I really felt like it. I did drink a bottle of bone broth. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that doesn't break a fast, doesn't ruin it, but I don't know. It does have some stuff to it, so maybe it does. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, we shall see. We'll see just how things turned out. In the end, I got 17,000 steps for the day. So that was pretty good. Actually, it's probably not even the end. I'll probably do some more, but 17,000 is plenty to report on. I made my 10,000 goal at least. Let's head over and see how this day how this week finished out. Okay, so there you go. I started out asking how dialed in I am this week. I don't know what it is. I can't manage to stay dialed in. I was really good for the first 2 weeks, and since then, so. I did all right, but I keep eating this and that, here and there. There's a little something. And I'm starting to think that maybe that's an issue. There's, if I feel like your body kind of tells you what it's prepared for, what it can do, something like that. I don't know. Like when it's time to shed the last of that weight or something like that, it's going to say, let's do this. And I feel like maybe it was doing that first 2 weeks where it was just like, let's go. We're 220 and we shouldn't be. Let's get down. And so I came down and then it was like, okay, we're down. Now let's settle down. Let's be good. Let's chill out. And what I've been feeling for the last little while is that maybe I shouldn't be doing the alternate day fasting stuff right now. I should just be doing some more chill, eating every day. Maybe I should just be doing, I don't know, 1 meal a day, something like that. The times that I've done 1 meal a day, it's felt really good. The times I'm doing alternate day fasting, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to eat so bad. And usually it's not that bad for me. So I don't know what's up with that. Anyways, how did today go? How did my weight turn out? Well, last week I was at 211.4. And, that was at the end of my mulligan week where I just did terrible. This week, didn't do that great. I came down, then I went back up, and I fasted all day yesterday. And what did I finish out at? What did I come down to? Well, I finished out at 205.8, which wasn't even as good as the fast that I did in the middle of the week where I was at 204 or something. So that's kind of disappointing, and maybe that's part of the reason why I'm just like, why? I struggled so hard to fast through this, and I didn't even get as much benefit as I did last time. Maybe there's other things, I don't know. But I think for the next week, I'm going to try doing 1 meal a day, and we're going to see if that is better, if that's easier to stick with, easier to not eat stuff that I shouldn't. Or if I need to try something else. We shall see. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder if I can just continue to call this final boss mode, if I need to come up with something else, if I'm not sticking to my original plan. My original plan was ground beef every day, two meals a day, fasting twice a week, and sticking to it. And I did great for 2 weeks, and then after that, I started to fall off. So I don't know. I'll think on that. We're gonna try this thing for a week, and then I don't know. Maybe we need to cut off the final boss mode and go back to normal mode. Maybe that's just the way it is. I've heard some people say, yeah, your body kind of goes in waves. It'll lose a bunch of weight for a while, and then it's like, okay, we're good. Let's sit still for a while, and then later it'll be like, okay, we can go hard again. Let's lose some more weight, and goes and stops and goes and stops, and maybe I'm in a stop. I don't know. But maybe that's all BS, and I'm just making it up as an excuse because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. There's that too. Anyway, we're going to try one meal a day next week and see how it goes. So that is the plan. It would be cool. Maybe that will go way better than the way this did. But, this week was pretty good. I lost, 5 pounds? 5.6 pounds? It's good. I felt like it should have been better, though, because, I put on 10 pounds last week. I only lost half of it off, so I need to get back to it. So let's see if we can do that this week. But I guess I'll be back next week with another report, and you guys can see how it went. You're on Big Anklevich on Health.